Alright, 8th grade scholars, so today we are continuing factoring this week. Alright, so I'm going to do one example, and this is actually the first example on our sheet today. So number one, 3p squared minus 2p minus 5. Alright, so first step, remember we've got to set up our x factor method. So it's a times c on top and b on bottom. So let's label our variables. We have a, b, and c. So on top, 3 times negative 5. Remember, if you're subtracting, you want to treat it as a negative. So negative 15 over negative 2. All right, and now we can set up our t-chart for this. So we're on the left, we put our thing that we are multiplying to, so that would be our negative 15. And on the right, it is the sum, which is negative 2. Remember, we are multiplying, finding two factors that multiply to the top number and add to the bottom. So that's why it is sum. All right, so now we can just go through some of the factors of 15, so different things that multiply into 15. All right, so let's start with number 1. 1 times 15. All right, let's make this negative. If we add those together, there's no way we can get a negative 2. So that will not work. Let's think about 2. 2 cannot go into 15, so we cannot factor that. Same thing with 3. Let's try 3. 3 times what gives us 15? As we just did, that was 5. And now, what you need to think about is which one of these numbers, 3 or 5, has to be negative to get a negative 2 when we add them. And if we think about it, the only number that can be negative is the negative 5, because 3 plus negative 5 would give us negative 2. So now we can write it in our factored form. So x plus 3 because it's positive, and x minus 5 because it is a negative. And next step you have to do once you have it in factored form, set it equal to 0. And then we have to divide by our a value here. All right, so our a value is 3. So let's divide each of these terms by 3. So 3 divided by 3, we get x plus 1. 3 cannot go into 5 evenly, so we can leave that as a fraction for now. And last step we gotta do, if you end up with a fraction, you have to swing the the denominator over in front of the x. So your final answer would be x plus 1, and then 3x minus 5 equals 0. And that is all we're trying to do today. We're just trying to factor it, and then next class, let me circle this real quick. Oh, that was a bad job, but next class we'll work on solving in the factored form. All right, 8th grade, so here is our final work.